No intro anymore. Straight into it. Is the American dream dead? That's the topic for tonight. I posted a video on TikTok the other day. I was just in the backyard and I thought, why not? Why not put out a quick video? It got a lot of comments. I'm not going to get into everything I spoke about in the video, but one comment stood out to me. It was somebody quoting somebody else. And the comment says, because I was talking in the video about the American dream. First of all, I was talking about Cuba and regime change there. Would it help the country? Would it hurt the country? Would it actually change anything? That was basically the main topic. And I like when people comment positive and negative because it stirs conversation and it's good. But somebody commented a quote. It's a George Carlin quote. And it reads, "They call it the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it." So this got me thinking about the whole idea of the American dream. What is it? And does it still exist? Remember when Trump gave, I know, I'm sorry that everything has to come back to this, but remember when he gave his speech announcing his run for the presidency, and he said, "The American dream is dead, but I'll bring it back greater than ever before." I think maybe that resonated with a lot of people because they felt like the American dream is dead. Now, I want to address the quote, "The American dream, you have to be asleep to believe it." I feel like there's a lot of nihilism taking over, especially sort of on my side, on the right side of things, because we've gotten into this headspace where everything is against us. The corporations are against us. The deep state is against us. The government is against us, even though we elected and we voted for the people who are in government. They're all against us. Corporations, banks, society, the elites. A lot of this is true in a sense. And I've spoken about this at length about how it's not smart for the Republican Party or the conservative side to stick up for corporations anymore because corporations aren't necessarily for us. But I think we're beginning to drift into a leftist coded thinking about the world and about society, which is that everyone's against us, which is victimhood mentality. Victimhood mentality is toxic. Victimhood mentality is not good. And I started thinking about this not just from the comment on the TikTok, but there's someone I follow. I forget his name. He literally does videos from his basement, philosophical, topical stuff. And he was talking about boomers, okay? And the video was all about how horrible boomers are. They're detached from reality. They don't know what's going on in the world. They think things don't cost what they do. They give you bad advice, blah, 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 blah. And this is someone who I'm interested in and I listen to often on YouTube. But I felt like he was beginning to slide into this, as I say, this nihilism, this the boomers don't know anything. They have nothing to offer. Believe me, I have made my fair share of criticisms against boomers. Okay. But I don't want people to begin to enter the toxic torture chamber that is the victim mentality. The idea, the American dream is dead. I can't succeed. There's no way for me to get ahead. Everyone's against me. I hate that attitude. And I know where it comes from because believe me, day to day, I'm grinding too. And there are some times when I think, man, this is way too hard This is making everything work, paying for everything, making a lot of money. You want to make a lot of money, but it gets harder and harder and harder. Then you have inflation coming down on you. The money you save um, doesn't have the same value it did. The money you make by investing it gets devalued by inflation. Um, and then you go into the other social aspects of censorship and all that. So it's easy to think that we're victims and that things are horrible. The American dream is dead. Only somebody who's like, naive could believe in the American dream, something so silly as that. When I was referring to the American dream in the video I made on TikTok, it was that people here in the United States have, in my view, for the most part, a much more entrepreneurial drive for success, for monetary success, for success as they define it. And it can mean monetarily, and it can mean familial, it can mean whatever, but they're chasing something. They're chasing the dream. And that isn't always necessarily good. You're constantly chasing the next thing. But Americans, again, huge generality, but in this context, I was comparing Americans to like Cubans or Europeans or Canadians or something. Americans tend to be more driven. It's in their culture. It's in our culture here. The country is full of dreamers and strivers and believers and doers and grinders and people who are just trying to produce, they're trying to make it, they're trying to be of value. And yes, they want a return for that. And they would like to hit the jackpot on that. They would like to become rich. They would like the house and the nice car and the pool and everything. They really want that. So I hope that we don't get stuck in this headspace where there's no way we can make it. Everyone's against us. The boomers suck. They're not giving us advice. It's like, you know what? Yeah, the economy is changing. Things are harder, but you have to reinvent yourself. You have to find a way. I don't know. I mean, I can't give a roadmap because I'm still following my own path on that map. But just because the road to success has changed doesn't mean there's no road to success at all. And that's the mistake people are making. They're thinking that, well, it used to be that you could just have a middle class job and you could have a family and you could take vacation and you could have a car and a nice house and all that. And that's not accessible anymore. And that's wrong. But maybe that's just the economy changing. Maybe you have to change your behavior and adapt to the way things are now. Maybe you make more money online now than you would working at the factory. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. It just is. It just exists. And I don't necessarily see it as good or bad. I just see it as it is, which is a reality we have to live within. Is it harder to make it? Is it harder to do well than it used to be? Probably. Oh, I won't even say probably. Yes, it is harder. But just because it's harder, are we just going to punt and give up and say, "The hell with it. I'm not even going to try anymore. I'm not even going to try to make something of myself." And that is my fear, is that this kind of messaging, and you see this on particularly now on the right, I see it all the time. Don't go to college. College sucks. College is useless. You don't need a college degree. College is a waste of money. That is really bad advice. That is horrible advice. And this isn't to say that you need to go to college, you need to get higher education, but this sort of anti education, anti achievement, anti intellectualism, we see this. It's like the Oliver Anthony syndrome. Remember Oliver Anthony, the guy strumming his guitar in the woods, in the hinterlands, in the rich man north of Richmond? This whole idea is just not, I don't jive with it, okay? I don't. And look, I'm an agreement. Corporations, big government, big corporate, same sort of degree of badness, if you will. But I don't want to fall prey to the victimhood mentality. And I see the comment, the American dream is like George Carlin quote. The American dream, you can only be asleep to believe it or something. The cynicism. I don't like the cynicism. And I myself get trapped in it sometimes too. I get a little cynical, a little frustrated. Believe me, I all the time. But then I have to come to my senses and say, there's still a lot of opportunity here. There's still a lot of potential. And you may not make it the same way you used to. Okay. And yes, when you ask a boomer, they may tell you, walk in with your resume. That makes a difference. Okay. Just because they aren't giving you advice that works doesn't mean you should just say there's no way to do it anymore. Well, I used to be able to walk in with my resume and now I can't anymore. Boomers are telling me to do that and they're wrong. Therefore, my life is over. I can't do anything anymore. And this is the worst possible message to send. No, you're not going to make the same amount of money at a 9 to 5 that you used to. Maybe we don't do as many 9 to 5 jobs anymore. Maybe you invest more. Maybe you're smarter with your money. Maybe you put your more money in crypto. Maybe you, I don't know. I don't have the exact answer, but the point is the American dream is alive. It just evolves. It doesn't always look the same. And if we get stuck in this idea that, well, the American dream doesn't look like it did in 1984, or that's probably a wrong year to use. The American dream doesn't look the same way it did in the 80s. Therefore, the American dream is gone, and only stupid people believe that. Only naive, stupid people buy into that crap, American dream crap. You can make it on your own. Yeah, right. You can't make it. Give up. Everyone's against you. Corporations against you. Government's against you. Universities, colleges are all against you. Don't even get a college degree. The professors are biased. The professors are all liberals. Who cares if the professors are liberals? Go to college. Get the degree. Disagree with your professors. If you have to agree with them, agree with them. Do whatever you have to do to get the end result. I'm sorry, that's like Machiavellian or something, but we're all just going to throw in the towel now because everyone's against us. Please feel bad for us. Feel sorry for us. We can't do anything. It's all just like the liberal elites who get everywhere. That's toxic thinking. That's like loser mentality, loser think, pity party. And I as I said, I engage in it too. I'm not free of guilt in this. But please don't buy into this crap that there's no American dream. You can't make it here. People are making it here every day. People are getting rich every day. People are living fulfilling lives. Even if monetary achievement isn't your goal, there are other ways people are succeeding. People are having like 2, 3, 4 kids. People getting married. People don't want to get married. They don't get going. I don't know what they do, but the dream, the American dream, is still there. It's still there, and yes, the system supports it, and the system helps it along, no doubt. But the point of my video on TikTok, maybe I'll do another TikTok as a follow-up, is that simply changing the system isn't necessarily going to change the country. The country is how it is because of the culture and because of the people, right? Culture is very important. Changing a culture is much more difficult than changing the politics and the leader and all of that. And I know this is sort of like a hokey thing to say, but focus less on the leader of the country and more on yourself, your family, your achievement. I know I made a video around the time Charlie Kirk passed away or was murdered. Um, and I talked about how there were a lot of people who said that we should turn inward. We should not worry about politics so much. We should turn inward. And I fought against that. I said, no, get involved. But at the same time, you cannot become obsessed with the president and what the president is doing and what Congress is doing. Focus on it, know it, be involved in it, engage in it. I am perfectly in support of that. But I see these people and it's like, it's crazy. I see them talking. Mostly now it's on the left. It's Trump this, Trump that, and then the Republicans and it's like this is taking up your entire life. Like I am someone who's obsessed with politics, and even I think they're crazy. I saw a thing on Instagram. It was some woman who went on a date, and she asked the guy immediately what he thought about Donald Trump, and is there anything Donald Trump's doing that you disagree with? That's the first thing you're talking about on a date. You're trying to find a partner for the rest of your life, and that's the first topic is Donald Trump. Trump is the first topic. That is a problem. That is real, like Trump derangement syndrome stuff. So, and then the right does it too. The right is always doing it, and now it's not about the president because Trump's president, but to the right, it's different pity parties they have over all the banks and the corporate and the big government and the institutions and the colleges and the universities and the boomers, and everyone hates us, everyone's against us, everything sucks, the country sucks, this sucks. And I know, I get it. It's sometimes you feel that way when you're out in the world. Believe me, you go out in society and you're like, wow. But sometimes you have to reel it in, step back and say, I make my life. Me, God, family, friends, this is my life. Okay. If I make it, it will not be because of the government. It will not be because of Congress. It's not going to be because of any of that. And that's what I mean by America having a culture that fits for an economy that has a juggernaut status. It's not all because it's a capitalist system. It's a capitalist system because the people want to do well, the people want to achieve, the people want to make money. That's why it's that way. You can go to Cuba and you can change the government. If the people don't want that lifestyle, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right. I wanted to make it short tonight, but the point is the American dream is still alive. You just got to find your own way to it. You have to meander, maneuver, get more nimble, get smarter, get faster, get quicker, I don't know, find a way. You think you're the first generation. I hear this. It's like these Zoomers who are like, it's over and we can't do anything. And how are we supposed to make it when blah, blah. It's like, do you think we're the first group of people who had challenges placed in front of us? Oh my God, AI, the world is over. We can't do anything anymore. We're not going to make it. You really think we are the first generation of all the generations past? We're the first ones who are totally stumped. We have no idea what to do about it. We have no solutions. Everyone is we're under the boot of tyranny, and we can't do anything about it. I talked about Canada a little bit in my TikTok. You really think Canada is going to be saved by like Pierre Poilievre? You think a conservative majority is going to save Canada? That's not going to save Canada. Dude, if you live there, just focus on yourself at this point. Like, you're not going to change the government. And look, I encourage everyone to get involved. Yes, get involved. But maybe first get involved in your own success, in your own achievement, in your family's achievement. Church, God, family, self, all this Worry about these immediate things, the things in your immediate circle before. And I have had, and right now I'm preaching to myself, by the way, not just you. I am talking to myself right now. My late father used to tell me this all the time. Stop focusing on them. Greatest piece of advice he ever gave me. And multiple people have told me this, but my late father was the first to tell me, to give me this advice. He said, in life, you're going to be walking down a path, a road. You have somewhere you want to get to. Okay? You want to get from here all the way down there. Everything around you is noise. People trying to stop you, people trying to distract you, things trying to tempt you. Everything's, all around. You just have to stay focused. Stay in your lane. Stay focused on your thing. Don't worry about changing the government. Don't worry about who's president. I mean, I think you should be concerned about it, but don't let that take up your life. He told me, change yourself. Don't worry about who's leading the country. That has nothing really to do with you. There's no real change that's going to happen. Whether a tax cut happens or a healthcare bill is passed, it really, in the grand scheme of things, it makes no difference. You make the difference in your life. So he told me that, and I remember there were others who did later on too. I remember I was running a booth, and it was a political thing. I was running a booth with a bunch of other people at a festival, and it was like a long street. And I remember somebody came up to the booth. It was like an older, like military guy, like veteran or something. Rough guy, rough around the edges, but nice. And you could tell he'd seen a thing or two, like the farmer's guy. So, and we got talking, and he said, how's it going? And I said, look, it's kind of tough. People come up to us and they just cuss us out and they yell at us and they scream at us and they call us fascists or whatever. And he echoed the same thing that my dad said. It was perfect because we were on the street, the long street for the festival. And he said, come here. And he pulled me into the middle of the street. He said, you see all these booths here? You see all these booths and all these people walking on the sidewalk, and this guy playing guitar here and this person dancing over here, because there's all this stuff going on. He said, imagine that you need to walk all the way down to the end of the street. Imagine that's a metaphor for your life. He said, all these people around you, all the way down, they're going to try and stop you. They're going to try and get in your face. They're going to try and yell. And there will be people on the way helping you, cheering you on. But everything here is in the periphery. No matter what happens in the periphery, you have to stay focused on where you're going. Don't get pulled aside. Don't get distracted. Just keep. And it sounded like when I'm telling you now, it sounds very simple, but it's real. That's real advice. And I think a lot of people are like getting really distracted by everything around. It's like Trump and then the elitists, the globalists, and the corporations and this and that. And it's like, oh no, AI. I know the boomers, they're giving us horrible. And it's just it starts just to sound like a bunch of complaining. And I know that I have to keep putting this caveat on there. I am guilty of it all. This is a sermon to myself. I'm going to watch this back and take notes, because this is to me as much as anybody else. But your focus should be on God above, and then in front where you're going. And that's it. Don't think the American dream is dead. It's not. It's alive. It's just changed. You have to adapt to it. The American dream, opportunity, wealth, growth, family, independence, that's what you want. It's all still there. It's just, maybe it's a little bit different of a path. Maybe on the one hand, we're complaining. They complain, oh, the boomers don't know what they're talking about. They're giving horrible advice. Well, do you have any ideas? People are saying, well, my mom and dad told me to go in and hand my resume to the guy. That they have no idea what's going on in this world. It's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna not apply for a job now? You're just gonna, I don't know, what, you're just gonna give up? And I don't know. I think a lot of this, by the way, is coming from this is for me to say, being a part of the millennial generation. A lot of this is coming from the Gen Zers, actually. I hate to say it. I think a lot of it's coming from that group. And they are like, I don't know. There's something going on there with that generation. Now I'm starting to sound like a boomer. But there's like a deadness to them, I work with some of them, and I interact, and it's like they have no urgency. They have no fire in the belly. And I know I'm not always like that. Like, there are days when I'm tired and I'm like, oh man, like, this is just, get up, go to work, get up, go to work, same over and over. But it seems like a lot of them don't have that instinctive, like, survival instinct. You know what I mean? Like a I need to find a way instinct. And I think that is what has made, and I get back to the culture again, that is what has made America, like, really successful. There are a lot of people here who are like survivors, we'll find out a way. It's the entrepreneurial mind that we need. It's like, okay, this way didn't work. Okay, let's find another way. Let's try this. Let's do this. Let's call this person. It's that mindset. That's the mindset of the successful person, usually. And I keep trying to, like, get myself in that mode. And I think a lot of the Gen Zers are like on a default opposite mode of that. They're on a mode of like, well, if it works, it works. Which I guess maybe that is easier on your nervous system. But that's something I noticed. They kind of just look at you and they're like, oh, so, well, what do I do now? And it's kind of like, you just figure it out. I don't know. It's just find a way, call somebody, ask, just get creative, use a little bit of ingenuity. I don't think any of that is happening in that generation. I think maybe some of them have lost the ability to do that. They've lost the ability to like, live off the land. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to describe it because it's more of like an intangible thing. So, yeah, the boomers are really disconnected from reality in a lot of ways, and I've talked about this a lot. But don't discount everything previous generations tell you just because they don't really have it exactly right, because they have been through a lot. And yeah, the boomers, when it comes to politics, when it comes to their inclinations. I saw a thing the other day, like, for the first time ever, like, the boomers are like the leftists now. And that, honestly, that makes sense because they grew up through that hippie era, and now they're all retired and what have you. So, anyways, I know I've drifted in and out through different topics. Okay, Michael Vene 9386. In my opinion, if golf courses are healthy, the nation is too. I have to think about that one. You have to go watch my last post where I talk about, or did I not post that on? Oh no, I did a live stream about that, because I know I posted something on TikTok about that, about how the Masters is like, imagine if, like, Augusta National were our actual society. It was like a little thought experiment, But yeah, I don't know. Golf courses, depends what you mean by healthy. Ever since COVID, I saw someone post today. It used to be you could call up a course, like, out of the blue, like on a Sunday or something, and be like, "Hey, can I get a tee time for 3:30?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." You'd walk on, no problem, play by yourself if you want. Now it says they pair you with some random who's like giving you edibles or something, and the whole day is ruined, and you pay like 120 bucks for it. So, I guess we're growing the game. Yes, yay, we grew the game. The golf courses are packed. People are blasting music, untucked shirts, chugging beers, crashing carts. Yes, we did it. We grew the game. We did it, guys. Everyone loves golf now. Your best bud who has a drinking problem is now like interested in golf. So yeah, let's stop growing the game, please. No more growth. I've had it with the growth of the game. Please shrink it. Shrink the game. My new slogan is shrink the game. Please. I don't want any more. No. We don't want any more tea times, please. No. We don't want more people buying merchandise. We don't want more people on the golf course. No, we don't want you to be blasting the music from your cart. Sometimes I do that. We don't want you running around in your t-shirt, cussing, acting like a lunatic, crashing the cart. Please stay home. Go play paddle. Paddle's where you meet everybody. All this stuff about you make all the good connections on the golf course. Now, go, please. The paddle court is over there. Go play pickleball, please, okay? The basketball, okay, no, I'm not going to say that. The everything else, guys, just okay? Over there on your side. Your side of the trees, please. Paddle court, pickleball. I don't know what else you want to do. Soccer. Have at it. We want golf to be, we want to bring etiquette back. We want to bring elegance back. I was watching, okay, now I'm on a whole other rant. Now I'm losing it. I wanted to come on for like 10 minutes. It's been 32. Okay. What was I going to say? Now I've totally lost my train of thought. I was talking about the courses and growing the game. Now I've completely lost it. I'm looking at your comments here. Let me read them. Maybe I can think of what I was going to say. Golf courses seem to be a symbol of vitality and drive because it's men shaping nature for survival and then preserving it by putting the ball in the hole. That's an interesting thought. I always thought that like I always thought and have been thinking about this especially recently that people who think golf is boring, I can tell a lot about a person if you think golf is boring. Because that means to me that in order for a sport to be exciting to you, it needs to be like combative. It's sort of like you're an animal or something. You're like you need there to be roughness. You need to constantly be entertained. You can't just sit and contemplate, right? You can't sit and watch like elegance. You don't like elegance. You like constant action, constant battle, and that's fine. I mean, that's cool. I'm a hockey fan, and that's why hockey is like that. But people who think golf is boring, it's like I don't know, you don't get it, man. Like this sounds super snobby and retarded, but golf is like more than a game, all right? Golf is like it's a life lesson wrapped up in a sport. There's so many intangible things in it. It's like when you golf, okay, you go to a nice club. I'm going to get back on my private club rant again. When you go to a private club, people are dressed nice. They tuck their shirts in. People would say, well, what's the point of tucking my shirt in? Why can't I just wear what I want to wear? It's like, dude, you don't get it. You don't get it. The point is, we don't want the course to be like everywhere else. Everywhere else is just sloppy. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a crap. I saw something that really, I mean, this is now I'm getting back. I started this video by saying the American dream's alive. Don't be cynical. Now I'm going on a rant about like how people dress or something. Where did I comment on this? I think I did. I'm almost sure I did. Was I a reply guy on this one? I think I was. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me preview this for you. I'm gonna get rid of the comments for a second. I'm gonna keep reading the comments. So if you want to leave a comment, I'm gonna read it. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, while you're at it. Florida Millennial. Okay. 1 second here. Let me share the screen because this just got me thinking about this. So I see this tweet, okay, this post, and so I know who this is. I have always followed and have been a fan of Kayleigh McEnany. You know who Kayleigh McEnany is? Kayleigh McEnany is the skinny blonde woman who started her career on CNN defending Trump, and she used to do like a really good job at it too. She'd be on there and she would just like she'd keep her composure even though everybody was like totally crazy on there. So I've been following Kayleigh McEnany for a while now. Kayleigh McEnany has a sister who isn't as deeply involved in politics, but I guess she sort of tries to be. And they have like a cool family, and sometimes they do lives. Anyway, it's just sort of that's the only reason why I follow them, because Kayleigh McEnany ended up being the press secretary, the White House press secretary, and I guess I follow her sister for no real reason. But there was this post by this guy Ryan Thompson. I guess he's a baseball player. And I thought, why am I getting this post? And then I figure out that he's engaged to Kayleigh McEnany's sister. Whatever, fine. But that's why I'm getting the post. That's just a little context. So the caption says, "Meeting the leader of the free world was an incredible honor. I'll never forget the joy I felt waking up to the results in 2016. Fast forward 10 years, the greatest president of our lifetime is still fighting for the American people, praying for continued favor over POTUS in our country, USA." Fine. Very generic post, nothing very original in there. It seems like it was written by ChatGPT, honestly. But I have a question, everybody. Please, you know what I'm going to say, right? You know what I'm going to say. This is, I can't even tell. Are those short? I really hope not. I think he's wearing pants, okay? This is what you chose to wear to meet the president? Did you have forewarning? You had to have known this was not like a chance encounter. You didn't run into him on the street. Whoa, President Trump. Whoa, caught me off guard there. No. This is like a TPUSA event. This guy is wearing like a Henley and a baseball cap. Why? Why? Did you think it would be a good idea to wear this when you're meeting the leader of the free world, regardless of what anybody thinks about him? And heaven knows I am a supporter, but why would you wear this? It's not even like like what I'm wearing right now to do this live stream is more casual, or it's more formal than this. The scruffy beard, the trucker hat, I guess, and the Henley, that's what you decide to wear to meet President Trump? This has nothing to do with politics, by the way. I get an invitation to meet President Obama. I am going to dress like President Obama. I'm going to have a jacket. I might not have a tie, but I'm going to have the shirt, button up shirt, jacket, no hat, toss the hat out. I'm not on the beach. I'm not playing baseball right now. I'm not golfing. I'm not. And and I know people are going to say, what does it matter? What are you such making a big deal about nothing, bro? It's like, no, because this is essential. This is actually bigger than we give it credit for. This is part of the problem here. And this is why I was talking about the Masters. This is why I was talking about golf courses and private clubs, because I was saying it's the only place you go where there are some standards, some implied standards. And they're not going to kick you off if you're not wearing a shirt like that, but there's at least an effort like, oh, I'm going golfing. I need to maybe look a little bit better. I need to maybe wear a polo, tuck it in, maybe look a little more presentable. I just don't know what could possibly be going through your brain. I have no idea. When you know you're going to meet the president, you know you're going to take a photo with the president, and you got out of bed in the morning with full awareness that you're going to meet the president, and you thought to yourself, what will I wear today? And you turned to your wardrobe and you picked out the collarless black Henley and the khakis. And then you went a step further. You went a step further and you said, I'm going to wear a hat too. Look, I call me crazy, call me old-fashioned. I don't care, really. But this is so bad. How can a grown man think like this? This guy is a Major League Baseball player. And I think it's just because we've totally thrown everything out. No standards, whatever. Anything goes. Sweatpants at the airport. Slides walking around campus. And you might say, Tyler, why does it matter? Because these things matter. They do matter. Etiquette matters. How you dress matters. How you present yourself matters. Professionalism matters. Trying to raise the standard, not lower it, matters. Remember people made fun of Justin Bieber for showing up to meet the prime minister in like a ridiculous getup? But even honestly, even that, when Justin Bieber wore the what did he wear to meet the Prime Minister of Canada? Was it like overalls or something? Actually, to me, Bieber wearing the overalls to meet the Prime Minister of Canada made more sense than what we just saw there, because I think Bieber did it kind of like ironically. It was like, this is my outfit. Like Bieber thought about it. He was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of do something a little different here. I'm gonna wear like overalls or whatever. So I wouldn't say it was a good thing, but it was like, Oh, well, like I can see where he was going with that. Like he's a Hollywood guy. I guess not Hollywood, but you know what I mean. He's a pop star. He wants to be different. He wants to look, memorable, distinctive. This wasn't that. This wasn't like that. This was just laziness. This was just like he wasn't trying to like look different or look cool or look good in his own unique way. It was just I mean the president. Okay, I guess I'm gonna wear the same thing I would wear to my backyard barbecue. Like I don't know why this makes me mad. It shouldn't make me mad. I know. I have to reel it in. I can't let this stuff upset me, but it just that's why that's why I made the video about Augusta. Everyone's dressed nice. Everyone's polite. Nobody's acting like lunatics except for the guy who knocked his kid's hat off his head on the 18th hole. But for the most part, people are polite. People are reserved. People are presenting themselves well. They're quietly confident. People are valuing tradition, a tradition unlike any other. These things are good. Achievement, good. Tradition, good. Etiquette, good. Cleanliness, good. Excellence, good. All good things. Anyway, thank you, man. Thank you for the nice comments. Appreciate everybody. I would never ask an old farmer to dress up to meet the president. He's a farmer, not a freaky Chanel perfume ad mannequin. He's a farmer? Isn't this guy a baseball player? I guess he can be a farmer too, but no. I'm not letting him off the hook for this. I don't care. I don't care if you're a farmer. A farmer still dresses up to meet the president. Sorry. If you were going to meet the Queen of England, I guess the King of England, would you wear that? No, you would not wear that. Because it's obvious. It's not, we don't have to think about this. This is easy. This is an easy one. This is a no-brainer. Anyways, I wish I could think about what I was about to tell you before I totally lost my train of thought. But anyways, it'll come to me, I'm sure. But it was about golf and it was about growing the game. My new slogan is going to be shrink the game. Shrink the game. Please shrink the game. We don't want the golf courses packed. We want to have our tee times back. We don't want lunatics driving carts around like they're off-road vehicles. By the way, many may think that I'm against women playing the game. I'm absolutely not against that at all. Absolutely not. I actually encourage it. I think it's actually kind of cool that women are starting to play golf. I do. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for like a husband and wife to do. It's a good activity. You're outside, there's a little bit of competition maybe. I see people doing these videos where it's like the wife or the girlfriend gets like she putts and the other guy hits and I don't know, stuff like that. I actually think it's cool. I think it's a good thing that women are playing more. So it's not, I'm not really like a traditionalist in that sense. I'm more a traditionalist. Like when I see women playing the game, I'm like, cool. When I see dudes playing the game in a t-shirt and blasting rap music and driving their cart into the water for fun, that pisses me off more. That ticks me off more, actually. Not more, it does, and the other thing doesn't at all. But anyway, I started off on the American dream and I somehow ended up here. All right. Any more comments and I will read them. You have a minute left. Thank you to all who watched. Thank you to all who commented. Again, I didn't want this to turn into an hour-long live stream, but I sometimes I can't help myself. I guess I just keep going and going and going because the thoughts just keep coming. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching. The American dream, it's still out there for you. Go get it. Don't throw a pity party. I know I do it myself. Don't get frustrated. Don't get cynical. A little bit of cynicism and distrust is okay, but don't get into the leftist coded mindset. The world is against me. I can't do anything. America sucks and government sucks. Corporations suck. No point. And I'm just gonna complain nonstop about everything. Complain about the boomers. Complain about the world. And I'm just gonna be a mad, angry, bitter soul. That's not the way. I promise you. All the young people, my thousands, my legion of young people, do not make that your attitude. Please don't. Again, I keep saying it's leftist coded. It is. That's the thing that I originally didn't like about liberalism was it's so cynical and it's envious. Number one, it's driven by envy. It's driven by jealousy, driven by wanting what others have without doing what they do. It's victimhood mentality. I can't do anything unless the government does X, Y, Z. And by the way, I'm not a libertarian. I think the government should do a lot of things, but it's the mindset. It's not the political ideology. It's the mindset, and that leads to the certain political ideology. But it's the mindset that we gotta fix, because it's easy. It's easy to fall into this stuff right now because it is harder. And I mentioned this at the outset of my video, of the stream. It actually is a lot harder to get ahead. Inflation, it's harder to get jobs. It's, hiring is not the way it used to be. You're competing with half the world, and all those issues I talk about all the time, and those do have political implications. Those do originate from politics, but at some point you have to say, this is the way it is. This is the way things are operating. This is the cards that have been dealt. And what do I do? How do I go forward? How do I live a life where I'm attempting to dream? And the whole idea of the American dream, I think, is a great motto. It's a great, whatever you would call it, a moniker for the country, because it captures the essence of what makes America different and what makes Americans different than everywhere else. It's no coincidence that the country produces all these inventors and creators and all that. There's no coincidence there. It's culture. It's mostly culture, system, but also culture, and that culture needs to be passed on. That go get 'em, can do attitude and spirit needs to be passed on. And I fear that it's not. I fear that especially the Gen Zers are like totally checking out, and not all of them, but there's just kind of a pessimism in the air. And I look, in many ways I sympathize, because it's tough, man. It's you're thinking, am I ever going to own a home? Is it just like, I used to want to make so much money, and how do I do it? And it's just way harder. And what's the path? And the advice that the older generations give me doesn't apply anymore. It doesn't work. And I guess what I'd say to that is, like, boomers are going to give you a lot of advice, and some of it you take, and some of it you just throw away, and some of it you ignore. And it's just, it's the way it is. They have some wisdom to give you that's true and honest and valuable, and some that's actually not. But we can't simply blame our lives on or blame our position in life on everybody else but us, because we, you, I, have more power to change our situation than we really know. And I know there are other factors. There are lots of other factors, and life is not fair, and things are really hard and complicated, and it's a grind and it's a challenge, and there's obstacles and there's people trying to get in your way. But again, like I said, this is not the first time that people have faced obstacles in life. We are not the first generation to have to run through a brick wall to make it. I mean, every generation has challenges. Some have more than others, but we have to make the most of it. We have to change. We have to adapt. We have to do what we have to do. But throwing in the towel, complaining, whining, feeling sorry for ourselves, pity party, everything sucks, everyone's against us. That's just, I don't know. I don't like that attitude. I don't I don't agree with it. And by the way, if someone's dream is to just not be in the rat race and not make a lot of money, that applies too. If that's what you want to do, just try and do that. Whatever the American dream means to you, it's here, it's available. I don't like how down people are on the country. I don't like how everyone just thinks their country sucks, even though the country is still incredible. The country is still there's so much opportunity here, and when I see people complaining and wasting their lives here, it's like, this is, you won the lottery by being here. Take advantage in every way you can. I mean, meet people, talk to them, connect. I know it's not for everybody, but um just the opportunity is there, and it's not always just going to be like handed to us. Like, here it is, here's your connection, here's your client. No, these things are like, they're forged through relationships and connections and all of that. So anyway, again, a lot of this advice is actually to myself. I support Trump as a Frenchman Quebecer. Wow, there probably are not many of you. Um, I saw today. A couple of things I saw today. I saw that. Excuse me. That Mark Carney announced that Canada cannot be reliant on the U.S. for a space program anymore, so they're launching their own. It's like, oh well, that's about 65 years too late. But good luck catching up. And the other thing I saw was like this New Hampshire scullery maid, congresswoman or whoever she was, like yelling emotionally like at Howard Lutnick, who I actually like Howard Lutnick. I think Howard Lutnick is like he's like an old school New York financier type guy who's like doesn't take any BS, and he just like a straight shooter. Um, and I actually happen to think he's quite smart and articulate, and I think he's a very good messenger for them. But he was there like going back and forth with this woman, and it's just like, "Hey, we're being so mean to the Canadians, and then the reason they're not traveling here because we're being so mean to them." And I'm like, brother, I mean, oh man, it's like, has the U.S. economy collapsed because boomer Canadians didn't travel to Hollywood, Florida this year? No. Like, the idea, and Canadians think this, we are so valuable to America. If we stop going to America and we boycott America, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna suffer. It's like, no. Don't you realize? For example, Miami. They think Miami can't survive without Canadians here. We have like half of South America here, like inflowing money, people, everyone coming in here. You know what? We're fine. Canadians not coming here, no problem. Anyway, this has been an hour. Michael, good luck against, wait a second, Tampa. I find it kind of interesting that the Montreal coach, Martin St. Louis, spent basically his whole life playing for Tampa Bay, and now he's coaching Montreal. So maybe you're cheering for the Canadiens. Something interesting I saw, here I go again. Something interesting I saw today was that the NHL playoffs are actually almost, I don't know about more popular, but a lot of people talking about how the NHL playoffs are more exciting than the NBA playoffs. It's like, dude, is that even a question? I can't even watch basketball anymore. The only reason I watch is because I have a friend who plays in the NBA, Kelly Olynyk. That's the only really reason why I'm interested in the NBA anymore. I just can't watch it. Ever since COVID, something happened and I'm just whatever. So anyway, the Panthers aren't in it this year, so I'm not as jazzed about it. But it's nice to watch. It's nice to watch playoff hockey, just like, calm, no worries, no anxiety, easy. Okay, Panthers will be back next year. All right, thank you, everybody. Please subscribe, please comment, please like, please do it all. Find me on TikTok. What the heck is my TikTok anyway? Is it Florida Millennial? I believe it is. That's right. Yes, Florida Millennial. FLA Millennial on X. Florida Millennial here on YouTube. I will do another live stream probably tomorrow night. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. And if anything interesting happens between now and the next 24 hours. Good night. See you later.